Some subscribers to our YouTube channel who are beginning to get familiar with how to study the Qur'an have recently been asking me about how detailed the Qur'an really is. Is it really fully detailed, and does it provide us with all the guidance and details and instructions that we need to apply in our lives today in the 21st century? This is a really important question. Now, I did a video a few months ago talking about the detail of the Qur'an, what Allah tells us about the detail contained within the Qur'an. This video is available on our YouTube channel, and I'm just going to show you the highlights of that particular video, which I think will be very useful for you. Now, although the quality of that video is not that good, because at that time I used to make videos using my phone, the content, I promise you, is very rich and it's very important. So it's definitely worth taking a look at the highlights of that video, which I'm going to show you now. And as you watch this video, look out for the word mufassalan and the way Allah describes the meaning of the word mufassalan. And before I show you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all of our videos about the Qur'an and how to study the Qur'an. And remember, we put up new videos every week. Take a look and let me know what you think in the comment section. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Munib Ali. Welcome to another video about QuranStudy.co.uk. I recently launched a couple of videos in which I explained the reasons why it is an obligation on us to study the Quran in detail, and another video where I explained why Muslims do not study the Quran. Now, one important thing to understand is that apart from giving us guidance, laws, prohibitions, etc., the Quran also describes itself. And in this video, I'm going to be taking through some of the verses which helps us to understand the stature in which Allah wants us to hold the Quran. Do stick around till the end of the video. I'm going to be unveiling a very interesting fact about the Quran before we go. And I promise you, the fact I'm going to be unveiling today is going to make you think about a few things. So one of the things that the Quran says about itself is that it is complete and it is perfected. Let's look at chapter 6, verse 115. We're just going to look at the first part of this verse. وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا. And perfected is the word of your Lord, truth and justice. Let's study this properly. Let's look at this first word, وَتَمَّتْ. As I've explained in our videos before, each word in the Quran is derived from 3 root letters, and the 3 root letters carry the root meaning of the word that we are reading and understanding. So the 3 root letters of the word tammat are ta, mim, mim. Now, the meaning of this is to be entire, to be full and whole, to be fully grown, to be complete, to be perfected. So Allah is saying to us here in the Quran, وَتَمَّتْ, perfected, completed is the word of your Lord. And where are the words of Allah contained? They are contained in the Quran. So this is telling us the words of Allah contained in the Quran makes the Quran complete. The Quran is complete and it is perfect. What does perfect mean? It means that there are no errors in this Quran. It means that there are no imperfections, no inconsistencies, no deviations from the path which Allah has been describing for us. It is perfect. A complete set of guidance, instructions and directions for all mankind, for all aspects of our lives. Now let's have a look at another verse. I would like us to look at chapter 29, verse 51. In this, Allah says, أَوَلَمْ يَكْفِهِمْ أَنَّا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ. And is it not sufficient that we reveal to you this book, the Quran, which is recited to them? Now let's just have a look at the word yakfihim. So the root letters of the word yakfihim are kaf, fa, ya. And the meaning of this word is to be enough. to be sufficient, to be everything you need. So can you see what Allah is saying here? Allah is asking us a question. By virtue of that, He is telling us that the Qur'an is sufficient. It provides everything we need to live our lives on the straight path. Okay, so one might then say, okay, so Allah is telling us the Qur'an is complete, but does it really contain all the details that we need today to live our lives and to deal with all of the affairs that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? Well, let's see what Allah says about that in the Qur'an. Let's look at chapter 6, verse 114. So in this, Allah says, أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ أَبْتَغِي حَكَمًا وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكِتَابَ mufassalan. Then is it other than Allah I should seek as judge, while it is He who has revealed the book, the Qur'an, explained in detail? So let's not just move on from this without thinking about this. No, let's think about this in a bit more detail. Let's break down the word mufassalan. So the root letters of the word mufassalan are fa, swad, lam. And the meaning of these root letters are to be clear and plain. Something which is explained in detail. Something which is explained with all the particulars. So it's when you're explaining something, you're providing all the details that are required to truly understand and to be able to follow something. So for example, if your spouse or your parents send you to do shopping and they say, make sure you bring back some chocolate. To be mufassalan, they will have to tell you which chocolate they would like you to bring back. Which brand, how many, whether it's in a pack or whether it's going to be on its own. Normally what the price you might expect it to be. So they would have to give you all the particulars for you to know, right, I know what to get. This is what my spouse or my parents have asked me to bring. That's mufassalan. That's the detail. So Allah is saying here that the Qur'an is mufassalan. It provides all the details and the particulars that we need. It provides a fully detailed set of guidance, instructions and directions for all aspects of our lives. It's important to think about this when it comes to the guidance in the Qur'an and the extent to which it provides detail to us in leading our day-to-day lives. The detail within the Qur'an is such that it allows us to distinguish between right and wrong. It provides sufficient detail to enable us to perform the actions which Allah has ordained on us and to guard against the matters which Allah has prohibited. So some people might say, okay, well, yes, okay, but it doesn't provide all the detail. So for example, it doesn't tell you how you're supposed to pick up a spoon and eat. The reason why it doesn't do that, because that's not important. Allah tells us very clearly in the Quran what is permitted for us to eat and what is prohibited. It does not matter how we eat, the items which are permitted. That detail is not important. So let me give you another example. The Quran instructs us to pay people's dues as soon as they are due. Now, it doesn't provide details as to how you should pay those dues. It doesn't say you have to use a credit card or pay cash or do bank-to-bank transfers or use cryptocurrency. It doesn't say that, but it doesn't need to say that. That is not important. The important point is that you have to pay your dues to people as soon as they are due. Okay, let's look at another verse in the Quran to see what Allah is telling us. Let's look at chapter 17, verse 12. We're just going to look at the very last part of this, as that is what's relevant for what we are studying today. So Allah says, وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ فَصَّلْنَاهُ تَفْصِيلًا. And everything, we have explained it in detail. Look at these last two words, فَصَّلْنَاهُ تَفْصِيلًا. The three root letters of both of these words are again fa, swad, lam. Remember, the meaning of this was something which is explained in detail with all the particulars. Look at the way Allah is stressing this. He has used two words with the same root letters together. Allah is stressing that Allah has detailed everything with its particulars in the Qur'an. And did you know in the Qur'an, Allah has used words with the root letters Fa, Swad, Lam 23 times. 23 times Allah is telling us the Qur'an is fully detailed with all the particulars. Now, one last verse I would like us to study today. Let's look at chapter 16, verse 89. Remember, we're trying to study these to see whether the Qur'an is all we need to understand and practice Islam. So in 1689, we're going to look at part of the second half of this verse, when Allah says, وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. And we have sent down to you the book as clarification for all things. Let's study this in more detail. وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ. We have revealed to you this book, the Qur'an. Tibyanan. The three root letters of the word Tibyanan are Ba, Ya, Noon. And the meaning of these root letters are to make clear, to make known, to distinguish something, to give proof. In summary, it means to explain. When you're making something clear, when you're making something known, you're raising awareness, you're explaining something. Okay, so and it's talking about the Qur'an. Now, the next word is likulli shay'in. The three letters of likulli are Kaf, Lam, Lam. And this means all parts or all elements of something. Kulli shay'in means all parts of something. So, Tibyanan likulli shay'in means explained everything. This book, the Qur'an, which has been revealed by Allah, explains everything. Have a think about that. So let's just bring all of this together. So Allah is telling us in the Qur'an that the Qur'an is complete. It is perfect. It explains everything in detail with all its particulars. And the beauty of the Qur'an is that it is timeless. So sitting here in 2020, we find that the Qur'an explains everything we need to live our lives and deal with our current affairs successfully. And before I go, as I promised, here is an interesting fact about the Qur'an. Did you know, in chapter 25, verse 33, Allah says, جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا. We bring you the truth and the best tafsir. Tafsir means explanation and interpretation. So the best tafsir, the best interpretation of the Qur'an is the Qur'an itself. Okay, so I hope that was useful. I hope you can see how Allah describes the level of detail that is contained within the Qur'an. Did you understand the meaning of the word mufassalan? Something which is fully detailed, something which contains all the particulars that you need to know to apply in your lives. That is what the Qur'an is. That is what Allah says the Qur'an is. I hope you found that useful. Let me know in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our weekly videos. Until next week, Assalamu alaikum.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن